Everyone. Today, today we are going to solve some problems. Okay, so far we have covered only the basics of the partial differential equations, whatever it's the preliminaries which is required for solving some of the problems. Sorry, not audible. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay. So let's start. We have already covered some of the preliminaries of partial differential equations. So now today we'll solve some of the problems. So the basic idea of today's class is that whatever we are going to solve mostly the first order linear PDE. Okay. So that first order linear PDE, what we are trying to do is we are trying to convert it to system of partial differential equation or a partial differential equation of this kind. Okay, mostly partial difference ordinary differential equation of this kind. Okay, so we are trying to convert a given first order linear PDE into a first order linear ODE. Okay, first order ODE. Okay, so that is the main idea of what we are trying to do. So that is something called method of characteristic. Okay, so that we are trying to do now. So just a recap of what we did last class. Okay, last two slides only. So the solution of PDE. So this is our first class where we are trying to find some solution. Okay, so far we didn't solve any problem. Mostly we tried to see like what is the PDE, etc. But we have shown one or two examples, but we didn't solve the PDE exactly. So now we are trying to do. So before that, I just recall what is the solution of PDE. Solution of PDE is nothing but like it has to satisfy some of the well-posedness. Okay, we decide to solve PDE such that the well-posedness is satisfied. Okay, so what is a solution? What we need to do is we got to find a function. Okay, function u of x is a solution to 4. So solution to 4 is the equation which we have seen in the last class. Okay, the equation, the PDE of f of x comma u comma etc. So and its partial derivatives. Okay, and its partial derivatives appearing in 4 satisfies 4. Okay, identically for x belongs to omega. So that we have seen, and then we try to find should it be real analytic. Okay, should it be real analytic that we question. Should the solution be infinitely differentiable? That also we question, and that is our desire. Okay, that is our desire, but we are expecting too much. So in that case, what we are trying to do is we are better to we are just relaxing ourselves to mth order PD. Okay, such that u does not need to belong to. We don't require expect that u belongs to C infinity of omega. Instead, we are expecting u belongs to Cm of omega. Okay, m times differentiable, m times differentiable and continuous. So if such a solution exists, we call it as a classical solution of the PD. Okay, so this kind of solution we call it as classical solution. Okay, but the question is, can we always obtain a classical solution? The answer is no, because some of the physical problems where we will have some kind of conservation loss will be there. So for example, tomorrow I will just say like what is the or tomorrow or next week I will say like what is the traffic flow, how it is going to how this equation is going to help us to solve the traffic flow problem. Okay, that is Fargas equation. So in that case, some discontinuity will occur. So that discontinuity it should propagate along. Okay, because if you disturb somewhere, then the traffic is going to be disturbed further and further. Okay, so that we are trying to see. So that is kind of this equation we will see. The discontinuity means we are not expecting the function to be we are expecting the classical solution. We are expecting u to be m times differentiable, and that should be continuous. But what we are trying to do here is the initial condition itself is discontinuity. Therefore, the discontinuity is going to propagate along. Therefore, we are not expecting a continuous solution or continuously differentiable function. Even we don't expect the continuous also for this. We say that in that sense it is well posed. Okay, in that sense it is well posed. Okay, so what are the methods to solve PDEs? So we'll see some of the methods. Now the fourth one only we'll see in this class. Okay, method of characteristics that we are trying to cover today. So separation of variable is another one. Okay, the Fourier method that we'll see next week or tomorrow. Then Green's function method, energy method, and D'Alembert method. So these are the methods. Now let us go to simple problems. Okay, so how do you solve the simple problem in ODE? Okay, so this is my problem: dy by dx equal to 0. So what is the solution? assume that all the conditions are like the domain, etc., all satisfied. Okay, what is the solution of this? The solution is
y equals to constant.
y equal to constant. Okay, y equal to c is a constant. Now the same question. Okay, so this is a ODE simple example. Now the same question. Suppose I have instead of that ux equal to 0. Okay, instead of dy by dx equal to 0, I am having ux equal to 0. Means u is a function of more than one variable. So in that case, what we are expecting is that u should be a function of y. Okay, so if u is a function of x comma y, okay, u is a function of two variable. What I am expecting is that u is equal to f of y. Then you can come back here. So if I just integrate this one, what will happen? Integrate with respect, differentiate with respect to x. What will happen? This is function of y only. Therefore, you are going to get ux equal to 0. That means it is satisfied. Okay, so this equation is satisfied. So whatever you had here, y equal to c. Here we are going to have y equal to u equal to f of y. Okay. Suppose c is a function of x comma y comma z. What will happen? This is going to become like u is equal to f of y comma z. So you differentiate this one again. U with respect to x. There is no x variable involved here. So you're going to get ux equal to 0. Okay. So this is the idea of this method. Okay. So now what we have is u equal to f of y. Okay. The PDE, for PDE, any function which is independent of x will be a solution. Okay. So now suppose I have u is equal to some x1, x2, okay, x comma some x1, x2, etc., xn. Okay, where only x1 equal to x. Then what will be the solution? U is equal to f of rest of the variables. Okay, x2, x3, etc., xn is going to be the solution. Okay, except x, this is going to be except x1. Okay, it is going to be a solution. Okay, so here c is an arbitrary constant. Y equal to c. Here c is an arbitrary constant. Here f is an arbitrary function. Okay, arbitrary function of y. Again here f is an arbitrary function of y comma z. F is a function of arbitrary function of y1, x1, x2, xn. Okay, so this is the general idea of that. So here what is the condition? See, if I say u equal to f of y, what should be that? I need ux equal to 0. So I expect that in the classical sense, what I expect, u should be continuous should be there. Okay, f dash must be continuous, so that I will get that this is going to be a continuous continuity is going to be followed. Okay, f dash must be continuous, so that I will get that ux equal to 0 and the u is going to become like a continuous function. So this 2 represents all possible solutions of 1. Okay, 1 is the equation. So for that 2 is representing all the solution. This is called the general solution. Okay, u equal to f of y. This is called the general solution of 1. Okay, so as I said earlier, so the remark you can see ux comma y comma z implies u equal to f of y comma z. So if you increase the number of independent variables, then this will also change. The solution also will change. Any doubts in this? This is the basic area we are going to develop further.
No.
Any doubts? Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. So now let's go. So we just taken dy by dx equal to 0. Now if you just say dy by dx equal to some other value, okay, dy by dx equal to, instead of dy by dx equal to 0, suppose I put dy by dx equal to 2x. What will be the solution? Y equal to, so you got to bring that, you got to use the separation of variables, etc., and then you got to solve. So what will be the solution for this one? What is the solution for this one? Here it will become like, so x square plus c. Am I correct? Okay. Now, in case of here, what I have is, now the problem is little, I have changed a little. Okay. So now what is the problem? We have I'm not solving ux equal to 2x. I'm not solving ux equal to 2x. Okay. So if I solve this one, what will be the solution? U is going to be, once again, what will be the solution? Ux equal to x. There I am giving uy equal to x. That I will come little later. What is ux equal to x? In this case, what
x square plus f of y.
X square plus f of y. Then automatically I will satisfy this equation. Okay, ux, that is going to be accepted. Now what I have is uy equal to 2x. I have. Okay, uy equal to 2x. That means here I have only y. Okay, no x. Then what will be the solution? U is equal to, so this I have to integrate with respect to y. Okay, here I integrated with respect to x, here I got to integrate with respect to y. So therefore 2 into x into y plus
F
plus
of
what will
X.
be that? F of
X.
x. Okay, so now if I differentiate with respect to y, here it will become 2x, this will become 0. So it's satisfied. Okay, so where f is an arbitrary function in x. Now next one, uy is equal to I think uy, yeah, uy is equal to sin x plus cos y. Then I got to integrate that with respect to y, so this will become u and this will become, so here no x is there, no y is there, therefore this will become like sin x as it is, because for me it is a constant. Okay?
Yes.
Because I'm integrating with respect to y. So sin x into y. Okay, I write y sin x plus integral of cos y. What is integral of cos y?
Minus sin Y.
Minus sin y. Maybe then typo that.
Sorry, is sin Y only.
Sin y. Yeah. Okay. Sin y plus I put f of x.
F of X.
Okay, because I'm integrating with respect to y. So y sin x plus sin y plus f of x. Okay.
Yes.
So if I differentiate this one, I will get that. So this will become sin x, this will become cos y, this will become 0. Okay, any doubts?
No.
Okay. Now let's go a little complicated. Okay, so now what we have is we have a different one. So I have multivariables. I mean, like I have more than one derivative now. So what I have is I have a three-dimensional one, u of x comma y comma z. I have, for example, okay. When my equation is u xx z equal to, I have x plus y minus z. Okay. So I'm just going in the backward. Okay, first I will integrate with respect to z. So then this will become like, what will this become? uxx. I'm just integrating with respect to z. Okay, integrating with respect to z. So this will become like, this is constant. Therefore, this will become like xz. This is constant with respect to z. So it will become like yz. So I have z here minus z square by 2. Okay. Plus some constant will come. So I mean like arbitrary function will come. So I'm just integrating with respect to z. Okay. Therefore, this is going to become like f of independent of z variables will come. So independent of z is x comma y.
X comma Y.
Okay. Now again I integrate this one with respect to x. Then this will become like ux. This is going to become like x square z by 2. And this will become like xyz. Okay, because yz are constant. And this will again constant xz square by 2 plus
F of Y Z.
f of
Y comma Z.
no, this will become another function. Okay, this will become another function because I have here x is there. That
Yes.
also I got to integrate. Okay,
Yes,
that also
sir.
I got to integrate. So that will become like some other function I will come. So f1 of x comma y will come. Okay, I just put it as f1 of x comma y because x is involved here. Okay,
Yes.
so that will become another function. Plus, okay, now one more constant will come. That constant is, I'm just integrating with respect to x. Therefore, that constant should be independent of x. So that is going to become like some g of y comma z. Okay. So now
Yes.
if I differentiate that, what will happen? So this f1 of xy will come here because this f1 of xy and f of xy is nothing but, I can write that f1 of xy is nothing but some relations I can write. What is that? I can just put integral of f of x comma y. Okay, because I have f of x comma y is there. Some function is going to be there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now again u. So again I got to integrate with respect to x. So this is going to become like x cube z by 6. Okay. Plus
Yes.
this is again x square y z by 2 minus x square z square by 4. Okay. Plus here again x is there. So
F2.
this is going to become like f2 of x comma y. Okay. That means I'm just going to integrate again. Okay. Plus some, here it is constant. This one is constant because there is no x1 involved over here. So I can just put x into g of y comma z. Okay. Plus one more constant should come. That is nothing but I'm just putting kach of y comma z. Okay. Any doubt? So almost your second problem in your assignments will be based on this one. Okay, almost all the problems in the second assignment number 2. Okay, second question in the assignments. Any doubts? Shall I go to the next one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this is same. Okay. Now let's come to the this equation. Okay, so this equation. Suppose you have a dy by dx plus p of x into y equal to q of x. Then what is the solution? We obtain that. We can just integrate that. So you use the so you can assume that it's homogeneous. Okay, then 0 will come. Then you can just bring it over here, and then you can make it p of x dx and dy by y. Then you will get that log y, etc. Then this will be the solution you will obtain. Okay, then you got to solve that using the homogeneous part and inhomogeneous part. Then you will get this one. So this I hope you have studied in your ODE course. Okay, let's see is an arbitrary constant. Okay, so if I give some problem, for example, suppose I give dy by dx plus 3y equal to sin x, then what will be the solution? So in this case, you can find what is e power minus 3 dx. So 3 dx is 3 minus 3x, okay, into, so y equal to into q of x, so integral sin x into, so e power 3x, okay, 3x plus c. Then you got to integrate this and then you got to find. Okay. Now we are trying to solve a similar problem in our PDE case. Okay, how do we solve? So what we have is we have a problem like ux plus 2u equal to y. Okay, ux plus 2u equal to y. Ux plus 2u equal to y. So this is almost similar to what we have here. So instead of dy by dx, I have ux. Instead of y, I have u. Okay, p of x is 2 and q of x is y. Okay, so what I can write then, u is equal to, okay, same way e power minus 2x, okay, e power minus 2x times integral, okay, what is q of x? Q of x is y, e power 2x, okay, because px dx is 2 plus what I will get here. Here I have constant. Okay, here I have constant. Now what I am integrating with respect to x. Therefore, this constant should be, if I am integrating with respect to x, it should be f of y. Okay, some f of y. Fine. Now you can just do that again. So e power minus 2x. So this is with respect to dx. E power minus 2x. Okay. So this is independent of x. Okay, y is independent of x. So I can take it out. Y into what I can write, e power 2x. So e power 2x by 2 plus f of y.
Yes.
Okay. So now if you want to bring that e power minus 2x inside, you can just bring it, and then you can bring it like y by 2 plus e power minus 2x into f of y. You can just verify that. You can just substitute it. You can just differentiate it back, and then you can check that this is going to be satisfied. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So remember this problem, but we will look this problem in a different way little later. Okay. We will just use the method of characteristics, and then we'll see that later also. Okay. Now what will be the for second order PDE, second order ODE? What will we do? Y double dash plus y equal to 0. What will we do? So this is for first order. Okay, this is for the first order linear PDE. Now suppose we have second order ODE, y double dash plus. You have different methods like to solve this one. For example, I just consider a simple problem: y double dash plus y equal to 0. Then what is y? Y is equal to some a cos x plus b sin x. Okay, find what is your auxiliary equation. This will become like m square plus 1 equal to 0. So m equal to plus or minus I will come. So then you will get this kind of equation. Okay, a cos x plus b sin x. Now we are going to do a similar problem for PDE. So uyy plus u equal to 0. Okay, uyy plus u equal to 0. Then again same thing. Okay, so this is similar to this one. So I got right u is equal to. So again same thing is going to come. Cos x is going to come. sin x is going to come. Okay, plus. Now I'm just integrating with respect to y. Therefore, what I'm going to get is this a and b. Instead of a and b, what I'm going to get is here with respect to y. Therefore, this a should be a function of x. Okay, so I will get some f of x into cos x plus some g of x. Sorry, one mistake I made. What is the mistake? This is with respect to y, right? So this is y is a function of x. Okay, so here u is a function of x comma y. So I'm just integrating with respect to y. Therefore, this would be not cos x. This would be
Cos y.
Cos y, and this would be sin y.
Sin y.
Okay. Fine.
Yes.
Any doubts? Okay, fine. Again, u square uy equal to y. So how do you solve this one? So again, you convert that into the form of similar to the ODE, y square y dash equal to x. So how do you solve that problem? Okay, so if you solve that ODE using separable variables, so you just bring that, then what you will get is you will get the equation of this one, y equal to 3 by cube root of 3 by 2 x square plus c. Okay, you integrate that both sides, so you'll get this kind of ODE. Okay, again for same thing. Okay, if you solve that ODE separable, so what you need to do is u cube by 3 will come. Okay, u cube by 3 is going to come. That side is going to become like x square by 2. Okay, so that means you are going to put the 3 on the other side. So 3 by 2 x square will come. Okay, very simple one. So you have y square, y dash equal to x. So I integrate that. This is going to become like y cube by 3. Okay, equal to here. This is going to become like x square by 2 plus some constant is going to come. So I can write this as y cube equal to 3x square by 2 plus c. Then y is nothing but cube root of 3x square by 2 plus c. Okay. Now, if I just change these two, what I have written is my equation is u square uy equal to again here it is y. Okay, it is y. So that means wherever I have x, that I got replaced by y here. Wherever I have x, I got replaced by x. Okay, so cube root of 3y square by 2 plus c I got replaced. So this is going to become like u. Now c I am integrating with respect to y. Therefore c is going to become like some function of
X.
x. That's all. Okay.
Yes.
Isn't it easy? So all the 8 problems are easy, I think. Okay, we didn't do any complicated things. Okay, so what you need to do is you have to identify the corresponding ODE. If you solve that ODE, then solving this PDE is very, very simple. Okay, what you need to do is wherever you put the constants over there, that constant correspondingly you have to put that either f of x or g of y. Okay, corresponding values you have to put. Fine. Now let us go little tough. Okay, let's go little tough. So this is again some exercise, easy exercise only. You don't need to do much work. So I have given some extra conditions also. Okay. So in the assignment also, I have given some extra conditions. So whatever I have solved is, I have involved some arbitrary constants or arbitrary functions I have involved here. So in this case, suppose I give some, I think assignment 3, probably assignment question number 3, assignment all assignment question number 3, I think. So that I will be giving some initial conditions also. If I give the initial condition, what do you need to do? You will eliminate this constant, right? Suppose y of 0 equal to some value if I give, then the ODE what you will do? You will eliminate the constant c. Same way here, what you need to do? If I give the initial condition like ux comma 0 equal to 3y or some boundary condition, let's say, then what you need to do? You got to substitute that value and then eliminate that function f of y equal to. Okay, what is the f of y that you got to find and then you got to substitute. Okay. For example, the seventh problem. The seventh problem, what is the solution? The seventh problem already we have solved. Okay, seventh problem is already solved here. It is u of x comma y equal to. We have already solved that u of x y equal to 2xy plus f of x. Okay, what is given in the exercise? Last exercise, it is given that let me see, is it f of x or f of x? Okay, So it is given that what is given is that u of x comma 0 equal to 3y I have given, but I think that should be 3x probably. Okay. So this one we don't have any solution. If we put ux comma 0 equal to 3y, it should be a function of x. Okay. For this one, it is not going to solve anything. Okay. So this is if I just assume that this is going to be some 3-dimensional variable, probably you can, but this is not having any solution. So suppose I just say u of x comma 0 equal to 3x instead of 3y. If I just say 3x, then what will be the solution here? This is going to become like, this is 0. Okay. Only f of x is there. So f of x is going to be 3x. Okay. So I'll just substitute here. Y is becoming 0. F of x will be there. So f of x equal to 3x. Then what is my u of x comma y? U of x comma y is 2xy plus 3x. Okay. So something similar to that,
Yes.
we have some assignment problems. Okay. Okay. Now we'll see some of the superposition principle. Okay. Suppose superposition principle. I hope you know what is the superposition principle in ODE. Suppose U is a solution of a linear ODE. Okay. Either first order or second order. Then what we say is that the linear homogeneous PDE. Okay. Linear homogeneous ODE in that case. What we will have is that if u1 and u2 are solution, then alpha u1 plus beta u2 is a solution that you might have seen. Now, same way here, suppose you have u1, u2, un are solutions of linear homogeneous PDE, then what you can say is that its linear combination is also a solution. Okay, then so is any linear combinations of u1, u2, un. So simple, proof is very simple. Since u1, u2, un are solutions, what we have? LU1 equal to 0, LU2 equal to 0, etc. LUN equal to 0. Okay, LUN, last one is LUN. Then for any linear combination, what you can have is that L of, I'm just writing it as a some summation Ci ui, where Ci is are constant. Then what you can write, summation I equal to 1, Ci into LUI, because it is a linear, okay, that linear homogeneous PDE. Therefore, I can bring that L inside the summation. Then what you will get is Ci into LUI is nothing but 0. So you are going to get that answer as 0. Okay, fine. So suppose you have infinitely many. Okay, instead of here I have finite, so I can just bring it inside. Suppose you have infinitely many, then what do you need to do? Okay, if I have infinitely many, so we have applied a superposition for finite linear combination. But once you come for the PDEs, the life is very complicated, because what we will have is that you will have infinitely many solutions, not only 2 solutions or 3 solutions, you will have infinitely many. For example, if you take the simple heat equation is a second order PDE. Okay, or you can take a Laplace equation, that is again second order PDE. So in that case, what you will have is that you will have infinite number of solutions will come. Okay, for that second order PDE, you will have infinitely many solutions will come. So in that case, what we need to do is that we have to check whether you are going to get the general solution in this form. Okay, you can write this in this form, provided there are some conditions are there. Okay, so analysis is going to come to the picture. When can we write that? We have to assume some of the things, like convergence of the series is very important. Okay, unless it is converging, write something on the right hand side. Sorry, left hand side. Okay, left hand side you can't assign something, because unless it is converging, I can't say what is u of x comma y. It may be infinity or something. So you have to check the convergence of this series. Okay, this is convergent, then you can say okay, this is going to satisfy. Okay. So in this case, what you need to do is you have to recall some of the correct theorems of our analysis course, like point-wise convergence or uniform convergence, etc. Okay, so uniform convergence or point-wise convergence, that you have to check what you require. Okay, now let's come back to the first order general PDE. Okay, general linear PDE with constant coefficients. Okay, we are going to take some constant coefficients. So let's take this. So the general first order PDE, first order linear PDE, we already have seen how it is going to look like. So that we have seen a of x comma y into ux plus b of x comma y into uy plus c of x comma y equal to some f of x comma y. So this f of x comma y is 0, then it is a homogeneous entity. Okay, if this f of x comma y is 0, then this is a homogeneous PDE. Okay, now what we are trying to do is we are trying to find classical solution. Classical solutions means what? We have to find what do we need to find? What is the classical solution? Anyone? What is the classical solution? We have seen, right? We got two solutions. One is classical solution, and another one is weak solution. What is classical solution? For classical solution, what is the condition should be there? Rajat? Yeah. For classical solution, what is the condition? We have seen, right? Suppose f of x comma y comma, the first slide.
Should satisfy the PDE, and it is differentiable up to the order of the PDE.
Yeah, so it should be differentiable up to the order of the PDE. That is called the classical solution. So what is the order of the PDE here? The general linear PDE. So this is what is the order of the PDE here? 1. Therefore, what I expect is that I expect the function u belongs to C1 of omega. Okay, at least it is continuously differentiable. Okay, so omega is nothing but the domain of the function where it is defined. Okay, omega subset of r square, somewhere I have defined as a subset. What we need to do is we are expecting a function u belongs to C1 of omega that satisfies this equation. That is what we are expecting. Okay, so if you can write this u is equal to u of x comma y. So if I just write this u is equal to u of x comma y, or I can, this is called explicit one. Okay, I can just write this u is equal to u of x comma y. This is, I can just call it as explicit. So instead of that, if I can write this u of x comma y comma u equal to 0, means it is involving some nonlinearity, etc., something may be there, then what I can write is that this is going to be like implicit solution. I can write that as implicit form. So in that case, in both cases, it is called as integral surface. Okay, because x comma y is, x is a variable, so x is a variable, y is a variable, and u is the third variable. Okay, so I will have one more here. So this is x, this is y, then this is going to be my yu. So then what I'm going to get is I'm going to get a surface on the 3-dimensional. Okay, therefore that is called a surface. So that surface we call it as integral surface. Okay, that surface we call it as integral surface or solution surface. Okay, integral surface or solution surface. That is not of, it is R. Okay, integral surface or solution surface. Okay, now we will go to constant coefficients. Okay, this is the general linear PDE. Now let's go to constant one. So what is the constant one? Let's see. So for constant one, I am just assuming a ux plus b uy equal to 0. Okay, a ux plus b uy equal to 0. Where a and b are constants. Okay, a comma b are constant. A, b are constants. Now I got to choose. So these a and b are constants such that a square plus b square not equal to 0. Suppose a equal to 0, okay, then I don't need to worry about that. I have already solved. Okay, I know how to solve that. Like simply you can just integrate it, you can solve. So if b equal to 0, again I can just solve that easily. Okay, so what I want is I want a square plus b square not equal to 0. That means at least one of them is not equal to 0. Okay, at least one of them is not 0. If both are, if a square plus b square equal to 0, then what will happen? Each one should be equal to 0. Therefore, you are going to get some. It is going to be 0 equal to 0. Therefore, it is not going to. You are not going to get any equation. Okay, so you are going to get some 0 equal to 0. So what I want is that a comma b equal to 0, and I impose some condition a square plus b square not equal to 0. Okay, so this equation is most often called as transport equation or convection equation or advection equation. We'll just see that how to derive that in the next class or next week. Okay, so how to derive that. So this is called a transport equation. Okay, now how to solve this problem? Okay, how to solve this problem? Okay, so now what I can write is that I can write this equation in simple way. I can write it as a vector form. Okay, a comma b dot ux comma uy equal to 0. Okay, so this is a vector, this is a vector. Okay, this is a vector, this is a vector. So I just denote this v is equal to a comma b. I'm just going to denote v is equal to a comma b. So this is a vector. V is a vector. I'm just denoting v is equal to a comma b. Okay. Now, so I can write it as v dot ux comma uy. So in the preliminaries, so in the last class we have seen what is del u? What is del u? Del u is nothing but ux uy. Okay, or ux into I plus uy into j. That we have seen. So that means this is going to be b dot del u equal to 0. Okay, again we have seen what is du of f. Du of f is nothing but, suppose u is equal to some a comma b, then aux plus buy will come. So again same. Okay, I think we have seen dv only in the last class also, dv. Okay, so this is nothing but same as dv of u equal to 0. Okay, so recall the preliminaries which we have seen in the last class. So this is b dot del u. What is dvu? Dvu is nothing but b dot del u. So now what you obtained is that you obtained a directional derivative. You obtained what is called, this is called directional derivative of u in the direction of v, in the direction of the vector v. dvu is nothing but the directional derivative of u in the direction of v. So in that place it is 0. Okay, that means what I can say is that my u is going to be constant. Okay, u is going to be constant. The solution must be constant. The u is going to be constant in the direction of the vector v equal to a comma b. Okay, this u equal to constant in the direction of the vector v equal to a comma b. I'm not saying that it is constant everywhere. I'm just saying u equal to c in the direction of the vector v equal to a comma b. So that means how do I come to this equation? I started from this equation. Okay, I started from this equation. Okay, and then I ended with this one. So this is saying that dv equal to 0. The same is this one. This and this are same. So if this is the solution for this one, then this is the solution for this one also. Okay, so u equal to c is here. U is constant in the direction of the vector a comma b. Okay, u is constant. U must be constant in the direction of the vector a comma b. Any doubts?
No.
Okay, fine. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to find, because this constant we mentioned, but what we need to find is that we need to find all the lines parallel to the vector, because if it is constant, all the lines I can just take, that is going to be constant. Okay, that is going to be constant on that line, so I'm going to get that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the lines parallel to the vector v equal to a comma b. So I'm just going to find the lines parallel to the vector v equal to a comma b. So for this I have some school physics is going to come to the picture to play. So what I have is I have this equation. Okay, u is constant in the direction of v. I have an equation. I have a vector v equal to a comma b. Okay, so I have a vector v equal to a comma b. Then you might have seen the directions, cosines, and how to calculate this from your school mathematics and geometry. Okay, so if I have a vector v equal to a comma b and a point through a point, okay, lines parallel to the vector v equal to a comma b and through the point x1 comma y1, then what is the equation is that you will get that equation like x minus x1 by a equal to y minus y1 by b. Okay, so I can just rewrite this equation as bx minus ay equal to some ay1 plus bx1 will come. So this I can just call it as some constant. Okay, some constant. Okay, because this is independent of this x and y, so I'm just naming it as some constant. Okay, this constant is depending on ab. Okay, so what I obtained is that bx minus ay equal to c. So the c is going to change as I change x and y1. The c is going to change. So what I will trace is that, so for each one I will just trace some curves. Okay, I'll just trace some lines of equation. So these are all the lines of equation. So for example, bx minus ay equal to some 1 or 10, I will get this equation, and some minus 1 or minus 10, I will get this kind of equation. Okay, so bx minus ay equal to c. Now any lines parallel to the vector v has the equation this one. Okay, any lines parallel to the vector v equal to a comma b has this equation bx minus ay equal to c. Any lines. Okay, if you take any line. Now, since what is since b minus a comma b, what is the dot product? That dot product is going to become like 0. Okay, b minus a comma b. That dot product is going to become like ba minus ab, so it is becoming 0. That means b minus a is a normal vector, b minus is a normal vector to the lines parallel to b. So b minus a, if I take the vector b minus a, that is going to be normal to all the vectors, all the lines passing, all the lines which is parallel to the vector b. Okay, all the lines parallel. So since C is arbitrary constant, what it determines is the family of parallel lines. It is going to generate a family of parallel lines. Okay, these parallel lines we call it as characteristic lines. Okay, these lines are called characteristic lines. Okay, these are all the characteristic lines. Any doubt on this one?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So this is the characteristic lines you can see. Okay, just I don't know whether that yellow red color is visible to you. That is a vector. I think similar to that. Okay. Okay. So that means what I got is that I got that u is constant. That constant also I determined. U is equal to, so u is equal to constant I said. Okay. So that constant also is determined. This constant is a function of px minus ay. That means this is going to become like f of bx minus ay. Okay, u of x comma y is bx minus ay. Now you just recheck that, verify that. If you take ux, what it will become like? This is going to become like, if you take ux, this is going to become like f dash into b into b into f dash into bx minus ay. Again, you take uy, then what will become? Minus a into bx f dash into minus a into f dash into bx minus ay will come. Now if you substitute over here, what you will get is that you will get that f dash of bx minus ay, you can take it common. One will become like ab, another will become like minus ab, so you are going to get 0. So you can verify that. Okay, so this is the underlying idea of characteristic line. Now we are going to extend the same thing. Okay, we are going to extend the same idea for converting to a form called canonical form. Okay, canonical equation we say canonical form. So that we are trying to do. Okay, in the canonical equation we'll try to. Okay. So in the canonical equation, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to transform the equation from one coordinate to another coordinate. Okay. So this is the basic idea which we are going to work out for almost all the remaining problems in the first order linear PDE. Of course, other simple equations are there. So what we are trying to do is we have a coordinate here. Okay, x comma y is there. X comma y is there. Now what I am trying to do is I am just trying to change this x comma y because I had some characteristic lines, right? I had some kind of characteristic line. So what I am trying to do is that along the characteristic line that equation is becoming 0, right? So that what I'm trying to do is that I'm just trying to change my coordinates in such a way that this is going to become like my chi and eta coordinate. Okay, this is my new coordinate system where along these lines what will happen is that, so if I just change this, I just change according to this rotation, according to the characteristic line. Okay, means I just have something like this. Then what I will say here is that this x comma y, okay, this x comma y, I'm just transforming to some coordinate called chi comma, okay, eta. Okay, chi comma eta, I'm just changing. Okay, in this coordinate system, I'm just going to change. So that means I need a kind of transformation. Either it may be linear transformation or non-linear transformation that we will explore. So that I want to do. Okay, so I'm just going to transform this. I just transform this so that this is going to happen. Okay, so that means x comma y equal to e comma eta means what I will have is that this is the underlying idea for almost many problems. So that means x is going to be some function of chi comma eta, y is going to be some function of chi comma eta. Or in other words, okay, or what I can write is that chi equal to chi of x comma y and eta equal to eta of x comma y. Okay, so this is the transformation which I am going to use. Okay, almost the same idea what we did over here that we are trying to extend here. Okay, so now in this coordinate system, what we expect is that we are trying to find this x comma y into a comma b and x comma y into b minus e. Okay, this because we have the characteristic line, right? So along that it should be satisfy these conditions. So what I am trying to do is that I'm just trying to find chi comma eta. Okay, chi comma eta is going to be x comma y into a comma b, I think. Yeah, a comma b comma x comma y into minus b comma e. So what is this minus b comma e and a comma b? This is along this line. Okay, x comma y along this line. I'm just trying to find that. So what I'm trying to do is I take any point. I'm just trying to find what is this coordinate system. So if I take what is the inner product with the x comma y with this vector, I will get one coordinate system. If I take the normal vector, because we find that this is the normal vector for all the vectors, all the lines parallel to b equal to a comma b. So minus b comma e. If I take that, then automatically I will get what is my new coordinate system. Okay, so that new coordinate system is going to become like then ax plus by, okay, comma bx minus bx minus a1. Correct? Sorry, here b comma minus a, bx minus a1. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So what is my chi and eta? So chi and eta is nothing but, so I got my new coordinate system. So my chi and eta is nothing but this one, ax plus by minus bx minus a1. Okay. So chi is this one. Chi is ax plus by. Eta is bx minus a1. Okay. Our goal is nothing but what we are trying to do is that we are trying to bring this to ODE. That is my underlying idea that I mentioned already. Now what we need to find is that we need to transform that equation. This is our equation, aux plus buy equal to 0. Okay, this equation I got to write it in terms of eta and chi. Sorry, chi and eta. Okay, or eta and chi.
Yes,
so now what we need to find is that we need to find ux. Okay, what is ux? U is a function of x comma y. Okay, but x is a function of chi comma eta and y is a function of again chi comma eta.
Chi and eta.
Therefore, if I just integrate that, what we will have is that ux is nothing but u. Okay, what I will have is that I'm just trying to find that in terms of eta. So what I will have is that, so this again write it as u of eta comma eta of x comma y, chi of x comma y and eta of x comma y. Okay, so this I can write. Now what is ux? Ux is nothing but I'm just taking this one. Okay, I'm just taking this one. What is this one? U eta. Again, eta is a function of x, so eta x plus u y u eta x. Okay. Chain rule. I'm just using the chain rule. Okay. U is a function of eta. Eta is a function of x. So u eta x. Again, u is a function of eta is there. So u eta x. So u eta. What is eta x? Eta x is a. Okay. I'm just differentiating with respect to x. Sorry, chi. Okay. Sorry. U. Yeah. Fine. Now u eta. And eta x is b. Okay, this is ux. Now what is uy? Again, same thing. Wherever I have x, I have to replace that by y. So u eta y plus u chi chi y u eta y. So now this is u chi eta y is nothing but b plus u eta y is nothing but minus c. Okay. Now we substitute over here. What will happen here? So this is going to become like a square u eta, okay, plus ab u chi u eta here plus b square u chi minus ab u eta. So these two gets cancelled. Okay, equal to 0. So what I got is that I got that a square. I got that a square plus b square into u chi equal to 0. We already assume that a square plus b square not equal to 0. Okay, if a square plus b square equal to 0, that means it is not going to give me any PDE. So we assume that a square plus b square not equal to 0. That means what I have u chi equal to 0.
Equal to
If
0.
u chi equal to 0, what is the equation? What is the solution? This we have already seen, example 1. So if u chi equal to 0, what is the solution? U is going to be function of eta only, because my u is a function of chi comma eta. So u chi
Yes,
equal to 0 means u is a function of eta only. But what is eta? Eta is nothing but
The function
bx
of
minus
bx minus ay.
same thing what we obtained in the characteristic equation. In the characteristic equation, we obtained the same. See here, we obtained the same here. In the characteristic equation also we obtained the same. U equal to bx minus ay. Okay, the same way here. Same way here. So u equal to bx minus ay. Here also we obtained the same. Okay, both are almost same.
Yes.
Okay, what's the time?
53.
50 already. Okay. Okay, so only this one. I'll just finish that. So we have transformed this one, right? U is equal to some eta of x comma y, chi is equal to chi of x comma y, and eta equal to eta x comma y. So these are called characteristic coordinates. Means we are just transforming that x comma y to that eta comma chi comma eta coordinate. That is nothing but the characteristic coordinate, because your characteristic lines are parallel to that coordinates. Okay, all your characteristic lines are parallel to these coordinates. Therefore, this is called characteristic coordinate, and this method is called method of characteristics. Okay, now recall in our first class, okay, in the very first beginning of the class, we have defined this equation ux plus uy equal to 0. Then we have seen that e power x minus y is a solution. Then I said that this is a general solution. Okay, the general solution will be of this form, f of x minus y. In the very first class, I have mentioned that. Now, if you put a equal to 1 and b equal to 1, that is nothing but this equation ux plus b y, a equal to 1 and b equal to 1. Then what is the solution? F of x minus y. Okay, fine. That's all. So we'll just go to the next one in the next class. So we have now we'll introduce some more complexity. So we solved. We are supposed to solve aux plus bui plus c of x comma y into u equal to f of x comma y. Now we solved a simple one. Now we'll introduce cu also. Then we will reduce to this form. Okay, we'll reduce this form and then we'll see. Okay, the next class we'll see. Almost same way. Okay, the equation will reduce to its ODE. In this ODE form, it will reduce. Okay. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Is it simple or is it complicated?
Fine, sir.
If you know like ODE, how to solve ODE, it is very simple. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any doubts? Okay.
No,
if you
sir.
do some exercise on that, whatever you have in the assignments, almost you can just get that how to solve this one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.